Yo, in this video, I will show you how to make a config that works on any server, or can be super blatant or legit, and how to download and use configs if you're too lazy to make them. So let's get into it. Where to start, if you don't want to use anything in this video and you're super lazy just like me, you want to download a config. Just open this config area and select the right config for you. Right now, I'm using the very blatant warning config by the official maker of Prestige. You could also have personal configs, which I have here, and you can sort them by the ones you downloaded, the ones that are recent, or you can sort them by name and their tags for specific game modes. But if none of those suit you, I'm here to help. First of all, you need to understand, what are you exactly trying to escape? Are you trying to bypass a screen share? Are you trying to bypass an anti-cheat? Or do you just not want to get caught on a recording? This will all be discussed in this video. But right now, we're gonna go over how to look legit with configs. First of all, I will show you how to make a config look legit or blatant. For Crystal PvP, one of the most important modules is Anchor Macro, and it being blatant or legit could be the difference between you getting banned or bypassing. Prestige client, you have two sliders, one for the maximum and one for the minimum. These create variety. The bigger the gap, the more random it will be. This is good, but can create inconsistencies. Sometimes it could be super fast, or sometimes it could be super slow. This is great for bypassing, but generally inconsistent. If you want to be blatant, you can put it to the lowest and not worry about the speed. As you can see, it's super consistently fast. If you want it to be consistently slower, you can put both of these sliders to higher. This will be much slower. Will also look way more legit. However, I do recommend making sliders a bit far apart to add randomness to simulate an actual player. Now that we have the basics, we can go over what makes a good config. Config has to feel natural. If you feel like you're fighting against a config, something's wrong. I myself have never really played Crystal PvP without cheats. However, if you have played Crystal PvP without cheats before, you might want something less blatant that won't interfere with your previous skill. For example, if you're already really used to putting in glowstone yourself, you could turn off glowstone and put it in manually for it to blow up. This is not just for anchors, but for anything. So keep that in mind. So when configuring TriggerBot, I want to make it as natural to me as I can. Note, this will be different for every person. I'm going to add some delay, but I will make it so there's only critical timings, because I'm used to strafing. However, not all modules are equal. Some modules can be especially blatant, like Auto Totem. The less actions you have, the more legit it will be, as it'll look more like a legit player. Something I really recommend to turn off if you want to look legit on video and in a screen share is double hand. This is due to the fact that it instantly swaps to another totem when you get popped, which is not humanly possible, and means you can get double hand checked by an admin doing a damage command to you. This is super risky, but if you don't care about getting banned, then definitely use it. As you can see, it instantly opened, and it does not look legit at all. However, if we turn off some of these and only keep it on switch, it will look way more legit. Again? That's simple. Another good guideline if you want to look legit is to have them to a keybind. Auto shield break can be very useful, but if your opponent pulls up a shield when even you don't expect it, it could look extremely suspicious. So it's very useful to have it to a keybind. I usually set it to something near my hand, like B. Now, when fighting, I can activate it whenever I... Fuck, what does that open? Because you don't always want to break someone's shield in a fight. As you can see, the first one I didn't break to make more look more legit, and I toggled. It's extremely useful if you want to bypass. Another small tip is that you want to avoid silent modules. You might have heard this from the recent Marlow controversy, but silent swapping is when you swap two items in the same tick. This is only possible with cheats, including Prestige Client. For example, we have a silent aim and silent swap option here. Although it is extremely fast, it might be tempting. Do not use it. You do not want to use it because silent swapping is extremely detected and extremely blatant on most anti-cheats. So if you don't want to get banned, or especially don't want to get caught on a screen share, I would not recommend using it. TriggerBot, it is also extremely important that you have a lot of variety of it, because a lot of high tier players that did TriggerBot have been caught because their TriggerBot was not random. Luckily, Prestige has two sliders allowing you to make it random. I do not recommend putting it below 90 as it'll make you hit before your hits fully register. Putting it random lets you have multiple attack timings, making it really hard to catch in the screen share. For the other modules, visuals can mostly be your choice. You won't bypass a screen share with them or on video, but they do look nice and I do recommend them if you want your game to look cool. No anti-cheat will catch this, and for Prestige specifically, I really recommend using Render Optimizer and having this config because it increases your FPS by a lot. One of the most important modules in any cheat client is the auto crystal. I think we can all agree. However, it is super easy to configure it wrong and get caught. However, it will be different for everyone, as everyone is at different stages in their crystal PvP journey. Like with the anchor macro, if you're more used to auto crystal, I would really recommend turning off a lot of these, like auto head bop and silent swap. But if you don't know how to crystal properly and still want to look legit, just turn off silent swap. Configs also have to work with each other. So if your trigger bot is too fast and your auto shield breaker is too slow, there might be some incompatibilities when you're fighting and it might feel weird. If you want to become a pro at configuring, you have to keep in mind of your other modules. For example, auto crystal is really important, but it's really important that you also have auto hit crystal configured the same, as if one of them's too blatant, it might feel awkward using them together. I'm gonna set my delay up for the auto crystal and up for the auto hit crystal. Since they are both blatant, it's gonna feel super smooth and easy to use. However, if I put one to way too high, it will feel very stiff. But if you want to go legit, then turn off silent rotations and silent swap. In a nutshell, for configuring, all you need to know is what you want, which is why I recommend you learning how to make your own config. And of course, configuring is a skill, so you will get better at it over time. Just keep trying to make new configs and see what works and what doesn't. If you feel like you made a very good config, you can upload it here.